going into the locker room as a gay and figuring out where to look and where not to look. All the way through the lockers, not acceptable. Floor, acceptable. Straight people don't know what an absolute struggle it is to have to go through this. Like, the thing is not even that it's a struggle because you feel the need to check people out, because you know it's inappropriate and you know it's not the time to be checking people out. So you don't want to anyways. But you also don't want to be accused of being creepy, because that's, I think, like, the bigger struggle. You know, like, making sure to look so far away from people and keep your eyes on the floor, like, visibly, not just looking down, but like actually keeping your head down, so that other people won't throw accusations your way, because you know that kids and teenagers are really stupid about that kind of thing. Hello BabyQueers, and welcome back to my channel. Today it's time for some lesbian memes, because why the hell not? I was on Suffolk and a friend, and I realized that lesbians have to deal with a lot of dismissing, so I guess we're just gonna give them some space with some lesbian memes, I guess. But anyways, you know the deal. Before we continue, y'all gotta get hydrated. Just grab some water, or some tea, whatever else you'd like to drink, and then we'll continue. Do you have your drink? Okay, let's go. I tie up my hair for 2 reasons: cunnilingus and eating spaghetti. And I'm single. I'm single, so you know why I'm tying up my hair. But, like, both very, very good reasons to tie up your hair. You know, I mean, eating spaghettis is already brilliant. You know, I think sometimes you would prefer the other reason, you know, to have a reason to tie your hair up, but I think you'll find that eventually. It's just right now you really need to get at those spaghettis without getting sauce all over your hair, you know, or getting hair into your mouth, I guess. So I'm sure you'll find someone for the other reason too, you know? What if we kissed in the SpongeBob crotch basket? I'm kidding. Unless you're down, because, you know, don't be a useless lesbian. But also, I'm not sure this is good flirting, because who even had the idea to create this? Like, making a hot air balloon out of SpongeBob, okay, I kinda get. You know, you thought it'd be super funny. But having a crotch basket on any character is probably not a good idea. But if the lesbians can use it to their advantage, I guess that's okay. I guess that's really okay. When you tell her to bring protection, but she's a lesbian, so she just brings safety scissors. Well, there are obviously other protection items that might have been more relevant, but you gotta admit that this one is just funnier, right? Like, maybe she brought other protection too, you don't know, but this is just, it's just funnier. Okay, so I get why she brought these. Like, I really get why she brought these. What's a masked lesbian again? I'm a visual learner, by the way. Like, explaining it isn't gonna help, you know? I'm really gonna need to see some pictures or videos, or better yet, like, have them in front of me, you know, that might really help me remember, you know. I see what you did there. It's the same with someone posting, oh, I have the cutest pet and nothing you do can, like, prove me wrong. To bait people into sending pet pictures, only hornier. But you gotta respect it, you know. You can just be like, no, I'm sorry, I'm gonna need some help over here, you know. It'd be such a shame if some masked lesbians would hit me up with some selfies, you know. That'd be really, really too bad. Manifesting this someday. Call me when you're done. I want to hear your voice before I go to bed. I miss you. Not gonna lie, like, anyone could want this kind of thing, like if you want a relationship, getting texts like this from your partner, super cute. But lesbians are at least like honest about it. You know, like straight women would appreciate this too, but I think if you're dating other women, it is more likely to happen probably. So keep manifesting, you know, and I'm sure you'll have a reason to tie up your hair and get cute text, you know, because why not have both? Nobody is born lesbian. We were all possessed by a lesbian goat demon named Baphomet's aunt, and got asked if we wanted to live deliciously. We all said yes. Did you know what you were getting into? Maybe. Were you gonna say yes either way? Obviously. Like, nobody's born lesbian. Although I kind of feel like a few people are, because you have pictures of like toddlers where it's just so obvious. And it's kind of like a trend on TikTok again of people posting like childhood pictures that like forecast the end result really, because they just look weird. But most of us, or most of the lesbians, had something like this happen. You know, every orientation has their own queer demon who asks them questions like this, you know? But yeah, most lesbians were visited by Baphomet at some point. How do I stop my mice from being gay? I have 3 female mice and they literally get freaky every day. Why are you trying to stop it? Like, if you have males in there and you're really trying not to have babies, because yeah, well, that's gonna happen if you put male and female mice together, but you know, why are you trying to stop it? Like, don't be homophobic to your cute little mice. Like, they're just having fun. You know, they're a cute little poly couple, throuple, and you're trying to stop it? Why are you trying to stop it? That's rude. Don't be homophobic to these cute little mice, okay? That's just rude. Gotta get stronger. Me preparing for Valentine's Day. Listen, I mean, you train for different goals, right? If you want to train for stamina, you can do that. If you want to train to have strong arms so you can like carry your girlfriend or your wife someday, cool. If you want to train your forearms and your fingers for other reasons, you obviously also can. Like, you know, having goals in mind is important. Because if you train without really knowing what you're training for, then you're not really going to be that motivated. But if you know why you're training, your training is going to be a lot more effective. And this person knows what they're training for. And probably has really effective workouts in and out of the gym. Hints for the heterosexual woman when she first meets a lesbian. Do not run screaming from the room, it's rude. If you must back away, do so slowly and with discretion. Do not assume she's attracted to you. Do not assume she's not attracted to you. Do not assume you're not attracted to her. Do not expect her to be as excited about meeting a heterosexual as you may be about meeting a lesbian. She was probably raised by them. Do not immediately start talking about your boyfriend or husband, and in order to make it clear that you are straight, she probably already knows. Do not tell her that it's sexist to prefer women, that people are people, and that she should be able to love everybody. Do not tell her that men are as oppressed by sexism as women, and women should help men fight their oppression. These are common fallacies and should be understood as such. Do not invite her someplace where there will be men unless you tell her in advance. She may not want to be with them. Do not ask her how she got this way. Instead, ask yourself how you got that way. Do not assume she's dying to talk about being a lesbian. Do not expect her to refrain from talking about being a lesbian. Do not trivialize her experience by assuming it is a bedroom issue only. She is a lesbian 24 hours a day. Do not assume that because she's a lesbian, she wants to be treated like a man. Do not assume that her heart will leap with joy if you touch her arm. Condescendingly, flirtatiously, protestingly, it makes her angry. If you're tempted to tell her that she's taking the easiest way out, think about that. 17. Add your own reason. Cut along dotted line, add or delete items as desired, and give to all your straight women friends. As funny as this is, it also seems sad this is necessary, but I get making this. Like, unfortunately, like I said with the first meme, that you kind of can't expect other kids or teenagers to be dickheads and be really weird if they know you're a lesbian, right? Unfortunately, adults, not that much better sometimes. You know? Like, a lot of people are gonna be super chill, you know, and not make a big deal out of it, which it kind of isn't. Like, just because you're a lesbian doesn't mean you're somehow, like, more exciting than any other person, really. You know, you just happen to love women. But some people will make a really big deal out of it and get really weird about it, so having these ready to, like, hit people with when they start asking really invasive questions or start being really weird about it, then yeah, having these probably comes in handy. I curse you so no man loves you ever again. Oh my god, for real? My hero. Hey, marry me. Just because no man can love her doesn't mean you can't. Because honestly, I think a lot of lesbians would enjoy this kind of curse. Does it still qualify as a curse if you enjoy it? Maybe not. But I think a lot of lesbians would enjoy it, because the amount of lesbians who've been told, oh, but no man finds it attractive if you say you're a lesbian, is absolutely insane. Like, the amount of people who think you're only doing it for male attention is insane to me. It's just insane to me how hard it is to understand for some people. But you know, again, these would make a cute couple, and I think you should get married. I mean, you helped her in a lot of ways, and I think you would make a cute couple, so yeah, maybe you should get married. You make it hard to leave, then just stay. The average lesbian experience when one has to go to work, I guess. Which just seems fair. You know, like, a lot of people already aren't completely excited to go to work. A lot of people would probably prefer to spend the day cuddling their partner or hanging out with their partner, but lesbians are at least, like, honest about it, and are very honest and open about how much they miss their girlfriend or their wife while they're at work. So, is this painting super dramatic? Yes, but that doesn't make it less true. The fashion world is finally catching up with the lesbians. Finally, some fashion you can really get behind, you know? Honestly, I always feel bad when I wear a carabiner because I am not a lesbian. But a lot of people think I'm a woman, and I probably look like a lesbian to a lot of people. So I always feel bad, but they're just practical, you know? So I try not to wear them too often, just when I really need to, because it's just rude, really. But honestly, they look cool. And gay, but they look really cool. Happy Pride Month to our childhood dolls, who didn't get much of a say, really, but you know, like, it's weird to dictate people's sexualities, you know, and, like, try to tell other people, oh no, that can't be right, you seem like this sexuality, right? It's rude to do to people, but your childhood dolls probably embraced it. You know, like, it's dolls, and you got to decide what they're like, what their personality is like, what their interests are, and their interest also just happens to be being a lesbian. You know, so happy Pride Month to everyone's childhood dolls, I guess. A guy approaches me. The exit is that way. Walk away. Hence the curse being useful, because if a man approaches you but you know that there's no way he's doing it because he's interested in you, then you know he's maybe just, like, asking for directions, or wants to tell you that your shoelaces aren't tight, you know? Like, it'd be okay then if a man approaches you, but yeah, the amount of men who are very confused by lesbians is too high. Like, the number of men is too high. But, you know, doing this, also, could you just, like, print stickers or something, or like little business cards, and just have this meme or something printed on it and just like give it to them and run away? Because honestly, if I was a lesbian, I would be really tempted to do that. In 1845, Dr. Fontaine devoted a section of his medical book, The Golden Bible, to preventing girls from becoming lesbians. He wrote of victims of this awful depravity, but in trying to scare girls straight, he accidentally wrote badass lesbian erotica, describing two women making love as they abandoned themselves to a carnal love of their own sex, and voluptuous embraces and enchanting songs on address, breathing their raptures in languor delirium, ecstasy, and convulsion of passion. That sounds terrible. Who would want that? Like, it's giving, oh yeah, the woods are haunted by lesbian witches. And it's like, where in the woods exactly so I can avoid them extra hard? You know, like, I'm trying to make sure I stay far away from that. But I gotta give credit to this dude, because some people, when they write erotic fiction, lesbian or otherwise, make it really super cringy, and it just sounds really awkward to read this, while not being super specific, obviously, because that would also just be kind of weird in a medical book, but he didn't make it that awkward. And I think he's making everyone who might not realize they're a lesbian who reads this recognize they're a lesbian when reading this. You know, like, I'm not saying you did the opposite of what you meant to, but you really did not help prove your point, at least. When your parents joke about gay people in front of you, but the enemy is closer than they think. Try to look nonchalant real quick. Try to pretend you weren't listening, or try to something. You know, but the thing is, you can't do the same thing every time. Like, you can pretend once that you just like weren't listening, that you were lost in thought. But if you do that every time, your parents are also gonna get suspicious. So you kind of gotta mix it up, you know? Maybe sometimes you just try to chuckle in a nonchalant way. You're just like, yeah, sure, you're so funny, Dad. Or sometimes you pretend you weren't listening. Sometimes you quickly pick up your phone, like someone called you, you need to pick it up at that moment, you know? Like, oh, I remember to do something really important, I need to go do it right now. You know, you gotta mix it up a little. Because if you do the same thing every time, I think your parents are gonna catch on eventually. Chapel Roan showed us we just need more women in armor. I think every time a lesbian sees a woman in armor, they feel like we need more women in armor. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying every time they see a hot woman in armor, they have this reaction. And I really can't blame you. I really can't, but I'm just saying, this is not the first time this reaction has happened. Cute girl I just met, me trying to figure out if she's into girls. Like, do you like Chapel Roan? What are you into? Like, what's the last show you watched? What kind of music are you into? But why is this me? Like, not even because I want to flirt with her, or like start anything with her, but this is literally me with a coworker. Like, she started a while ago, and I think she would make a cute couple with my roommate, but I don't even know if she's into girls, and it just seems weird to just like ask her, you know, just like, are you a lesbian by any chance? Do you like girls? It'd be a bit weird, but I want to. I'm just still trying to figure out a way to subtly get that information out of her. Wow, you guys have a lot of books about being a lesbian. Well, you know, you have to take a course, otherwise they don't let you do it. Come on, like, what did you think? Do you think they just let anybody be a lesbian? I mean, apparently, yeah, either the demon decides, or you kind of gotta study for it, you know? Like, they don't just like let anybody do this, you know? You gotta be the chosen one and just like actually be more like that. You gotta answer the question right that Safamed asks you, or you gotta take a course and actually like study, and then they let you keep the books, because if you fail, you need to give the books back. Seriously, what are you thinking? Me when muscular women. To which someone also like just stroke it out and was like, you know what? Me with women. Just when women. Don't you just love it when women? You know, and I understand both of these approaches. Like, you're allowed to have a type, obviously. And like a lot of people probably find muscular women and strong women attractive. Unless you're an insecure man, because then you just don't, because muscles don't look good on a woman. You know, but a lot of people enjoy muscular women. But I also get the second approach of just being like, don't you just love it when women? Because both seems incredibly fair. According to hetero dating law, the girl shouldn't pay for her meal, which logically means that if two girls go on a date together, nobody pays, and they get everything for free. But the catch is that they have to stand the whole time because no one can pull out a chair. Declan's 8-year-old cousin Gabriel has come up with a perfect solution. Yes, he admits, it's true that in order for a date to be sufficiently romantic, the man has to pay. When asked how best to preserve the romantic mood if two women go on a date, Gabe suggests they simply get the attention of the nearest man and request he pay for the dinner. Crowdfunded lesbianism. What a beautiful concept. Reblogging this again for the crowdfunded lesbianism, to be honest. What happens when two guys go on a date? They fight for the right to pay for the meal, and the losing male has to pay for the nearest lesbian date. An elegant solution to make sure that lesbians can go on dates. Every gay couple that ever goes to a restaurant or to the movies has to pay double. And the money that isn't used for their thing specifically just gets put into the lesbian bank. And that lesbian bank gets used when a lesbian couple comes in and wants to see a movie or eat dinner together. It'd be an elegant solution. And considering that a pay gap is still real, it would actually be a really good solution. You know? I think it'd be a good solution. I mean, obviously, we're not really doing that anymore. Like, whoever pays for the day just pays, like, it's literally not that much of a deal. Like, you could both pay, or you could split, or whatever, and one pays for one date and the other person pays for the next date. You know, like, obviously you could do it that way, but crowdfunded lesbianism still seems like a cool idea, though, even if we're not really doing that anymore, but it would be a cool idea. Anyways, that was all the lesbian memes for today. This subreddit is a lot less frustrating than Sappho and her friend, because people being that oblivious just is confusing and also annoying to me. And I'm not even a lesbian, so I don't have to like personally deal with that, so I can't even imagine how you feel when people just assume you're sisters or best friends for the 10th time that day, you know? But anyways, I hope you enjoyed these memes. I hope you're hydrated. If not, maybe go drink something now. And I'll be back in a few days with my next video.